everyone. We are live and everybody's unmuted today. How's it going?
Loud. Audible.
Audible, yes. It helps a lot for those of you that may be new here to unmute yourself even when you have the Discord audio porting in, because you can hear the Discord audio, but you can't hear the DM, or in this case, the guide, because that's what it calls it in our system. So we're remembering. We're gonna remember every time now. That's the rule. But to recap, last week, you guys kidnapped a demigod, ran off with the shadows, tried to thwart the king. What else am I throwing in here? Anything?
I
ran larceny.
Oh, rescued a princess.
Is it
Insider
slander
trading.
or libel? I can never remember which one's spoken and which one's written.
Slander,
but I know
slander
is
is spoken, libel is written.
What's a gesture? Is a gesture also slander?
I don't think so.
Gesture?
I don't think you can get sued for a gesture.
Oh, eat that, Galleon!
You can get punched for a gesture, but I don't think there's a legal... Because, like, libel and slander, you have to say something that provably can be linked to somebody else losing a form of income. So I don't think flipping off a cop would lose the cop any money, if that makes any sense. But anyway,
I mean,
God, I wish
the cop
Right.
will find a reason to charge you regardless.
I mean, true, but then
they'll
the
be
cop,
like, "You assaulted me."
then the
from over
cop
there."
wouldn't lose any money, so he couldn't sue you for the gesture.
Okay,
But you might.
Catch me.
But yeah, so you guys got up to some shenanigans. Kat was not here last week, so Kat, hi. I don't know if you got to watch last week's episode. But
I got to watch half of it.
Okay.
So I think I'm... No, wait, I think I did watch all of it. So I had to split it up. I'm so sorry.
Well, I was just going to recap for you really quick in case you hadn't. Briar took you with him through the portal into Lakey's house. So you are saved that way. Today we are missing Saphira, as Kristen is off at a concert this evening. But...
Lucky witch. Having fun without us.
Does anyone in particular want to start their scene? I have one for Lakey, Boss, and Briar. I have one for Morrigan and Mahalia, and I have one for Fox and DeLacy.
Ooh. Who wants to roll? Why don't we start with Boss and yeah,
alphabetically. Let's go with Boss.
Boss, Briar, and Lakey. All right.
Okay, so just to recap, Boss is... Briar took Boss, and then they're with Lakey, and it's just them in the room, or I think Lakey's mom may have... Or grandma?
So everyone went busting through the portal. Lakey went out into the living room and tried to explain to his mom what was happening. His mom took a little bit too long to catch on and told Lakey to put Hale anywhere, so Lakey just literally straight up dropped Hale on the floor.
Causing him 1 point of damage.
I nearly died.
Lakey's mom continued to be a little bit flustered, and Lakey looked at his grandma and was like, I'm making a plan! And has decided to bring Hale to Balfi. So, a couple of capes and some drunken stumbling out the door towards the Crock and Bull later, and Briar and Boss are following.
Yes.
Okay.
Boss is sitting on or across Briar's shoulders.
So important to know that you have an unconscious Hale with you currently after exiting a crazy scene.
Yes. Very,
so
very
crazy.
much so. So I will say...
So...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, so Boss is on Briar's shoulders and they're walking to the Crock and Bull?
Yes.
Correct.
From Lakey's house.
Okay. Gotcha. I think Boss is just going to be, like, kicking his feet like a little shyly, and then he's going to just, like, shyly mumble, thank you for saving my butt back there. I was really scared.
Yeah, no problem, guy. It's
Do you think
that was crazy.
that was crazy? And I was thinking, and I think a lot. So stop me if this is like crazy talk or conspiracy theory. But I wonder if maybe they didn't let us log out so they could employ a big storyline of the game. But I also don't know if I just want to believe that either. You know?
Yeah, I see the line of thinking. Uh, I'm kind of hoping for that too. Um, yeah, I'll choose to follow with that theory.
Yeah. But it
It
really
would.
means that you had my little froggy butt back there, and then he just like kicks his feet, and you can tell he's feeling a little bit happier after like the whole seriousness of the situation.
Yeah, we can call that move boss ball or something.
What if instead of that being boss ball, that's when you like take me, but you like throw me like a cannonball and just stack them. Yeah, you know what? No, let's not be that. Boss ball
Okay.
is when you just take me and you have to announce it kind of like a Pokemon move, and then I'll get ready, and then you squish me up and you let me know to be still and stiff and just get them like bowling pins. Yeah, it's boss ball time! He throws his little froggy hands in the air.
I love that. We'll work on that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely workshop that.
Uh,
Especially, well, I think if I arc you just high enough, you could have like two daggers and be like a death from above kind of deal.
I have a giant hammer.
All the better.
Daggers, though. Oh my gosh. I would have to borrow some daggers.
Hammer's much cooler.
Okay.
Roger.
small scene over really quickly. I will say it is early afternoon as we are now moving through the streets of Starlight City. News of the shadow attacking the royal family at the speech is beginning to spread, but it's slow moving and sometimes more rumor than truth. Regardless, the city is starting to hum. That hum has not yet reached Lakey, Boss, and Briar, though the three of you know that it's coming. There's no world where it wouldn't be. As you move as quickly as you can through the streets of the Hargrove district, you're doing your best to move an unconscious Hale, dressed in an overlarge coat, as quickly as you can to the Crock and Bull. Can you give me a roll, Lakey?
18.
You're doing great. You don't run into any trouble. You guys are moving quickly. You're able to catch your stride pretty easily. While Hale is, reasonably tall and dead weight, you've figured out a good pace to move at, and you make your way very quickly to the Crock and Bowl.
Yes. Licky continues his drunken charade. In through the door, and then looks around for Balfi.
Okay. As you arrive at the Crock and Bowl, it is much the same as you left it. Some of the people who were sleeping in the main hall have left for the time being, trying to go check on their houses, which may or may not have burned down, leaving the room a little more empty. So you have a little bit more privacy than before. Mika is having her singed hair trimmed by one of the people on a bedroll and treated with some oils, because she was up all night, rescuing people from fires. So needs a little TLC. Balthy is standing behind the counter serving drinks and prepping more soup supplies, as he usually does.
Leaky's gonna find an empty cot and kind of gently pour Hale into it this time.
Okay.
As opposed to the last time, which was less gentle.
No points of damage this time.
Good. Well, bed versus floor. And he's gonna just go over to Balthy and be like, so, What are your feelings on demigods?
I mean, they're folks just like the rest of us. They got slightly more of a chance than
Look,
most to become gods themselves, but you know.
so theoretically, they could be folks that were unconscious on a cot in your bar or restaurant, and like he just kind of looks over at the dude he set down.
Yeah, theoretically. I mean, they could be anybody. He's not picking it up. Did you want some soup?
Sure. While you're handing me that bowl, I would really love to introduce you to my friend Hale, but he's unconscious because he's that demigod that I mentioned 30 seconds ago. We kidnapped him off the stage at the King's shenanigans that just happened. It went real bad. But we think got kidnapped from your goddess and was being held hostage with a magical collar. So I figured this was the best place to figure out where to go from there.
He stares down his snout at you, being an 8-foot tall crocodile man, and just goes, "What?"
Okay.
He's what?
Do you need help with anything in the kitchen? Or do you want to do this out here?
No, let's do that. Should we bring
Leggy's gonna like turn around and shoot a look at Boss and Briar. Like, do you want to stay here with Hale, or do you want to bring him with?
I think Hale's good here.
Okay, great, bye. And Leggy ushers Balfi into the back.
Okay, you gotta. I need you to repeat what you just said to me, kid, and like. Say it again.
No, I'm going to give you a different. I'm going to give you a different version that's probably going to be easier to understand. So, the people who are new to town, who I got assigned by my job to spend time with, one of them turned out to be a friend of the princess-ish. And so the princess, we started wandering around the festival with her, and she had this guy named Hale in her party. Hale would get real squirrely whenever we would ask him about things, like where he was from, and anything about who he used to be. And through a series of ridiculous and incredibly impractical series of events, we have come to the theory that he is the child of the goddess of hospitality, and that he has been captured by the king for reasons, or the royal family, for reasons that we don't understand. And we had resolved to try to rescue him. So we went to the king's speech, where, in a very dramatic reveal, the princess summoned some of the shadows, not the light phenomenon, the anti-monarchical group, and tried to convince Hale to go through a portal with her to safety. But we don't know what her deal is either, and he looks surprised and confused. So I grabbed him and went through a portal and brought him here because it is very likely that you are the one who would have the connections either to people who used to be very powerful in your church, or just have enough of a ear to the ground to know where to find somebody who could help us get this collar off of him.
Collar? He's wearing a collar? Shit. That's a lot to process, and good on you for, taking a big leap like that, but our churches are scattered, far and few between. We haven't had power in the city for years. You'd have to go up north to the Abbey, up by the Kells. Like, it's a long way for a real... How old is this kid?
There's a... Like, he kind of pushes the kitchen door open and peers, is like, maybe early 20s? I don't know, I'm bad with humans.
Okay, well,
Although,
that's
I don't
fair.
even
They
know if
are
he
hard
is
to read
human.
sometimes. They
They all look the same to me.
They go from baby to adult real fast, and then they spend, 20 years looking the same, and then they go real old real fast. It feels like, I don't know.
And
I've been a crocodile all my life. We age so much slower.
I mean, neither of us are crabs, so
True.
at least we understand aging.
Those lobster folks, man. Anyway.
So, at the very least, we assumed that an unconscious person here after all of the kerfuffle wouldn't be that out of place, but we don't know what sort of magical trackers are on his collar. We do know that there is a proximity to the control ring, I think it is, that keeps him unconscious if he gets too far. He is currently too far. I don't know what it's going to do to if we take him further, so I don't think the Abbey's an option.
Okay. Wait, hang on. You stole a kidnapped child of Uriel, the goddess of hospitality, from the king. Just now? Today?
Yes?
And you brought him here.
Well, after I brought him to my own house, yes.
As if on cue, you start hearing the jingling of armor outside of a window.
Oh, shit. Boss, get his feet. Boss!
Wait, what'd you say?
Ryer is going to gather up poor Hale and book it up the stairs.
No. Balthy's gonna wave and say, cellar, fast.
Cellar.
Balthy goes back out to the hall and you hear, Mika, can you grab a new cask of the wine we got from the Spandrel Brewery? Thanks, sweetie. And as the door, quietly swings shut behind him, you hear, boys, always nice to get a visit from Starlight's finest. Can I interest you in some soup? Today's special is... And then the door fully shuts, Mika quietly entering behind you and ushering you guys towards the cellar.
Lakey's just gonna look at Mika. Do you want the abridged version or the longer one with actual context?
She puts a finger to her lips and it's just like, no, we'll talk later.
Okay. We book it down into the cellar.
As all of you reach the bottom of the stairs, Mika she's closed the door to the cellar behind you guys, so you can't see. You get to the bottom of the stairs and she says, "Help me," and undoes a latch under the lip of the lowest stair and starts trying to lift it up. But she's only 3.5, 4 feet tall, so it only goes so high because she's a halfling, so she needs help lifting it over her head.
Lakey steps in and helps.
You guys lift it up, and you see that under the stairs, lifting the lid of a box, is a space that's got a lot of casks and crates and some boxes in there that could very easily be cleared out and hide a few people.
Roger that.
Currently, it is filled with various supplies like teas and dried seasonings and things like that. She starts moving stuff out immediately.
Is there a way out from here, or is this a bolt hole? Like, do we just sit here?
Yeah, you're gonna hide. This is called a spandrel. That's what the code phrase was.
Okay, if anybody more important than those, anybody higher ranked than those guard walk in here, you let me know and we're getting the fuck out of here.
You'll probably know as soon as I do. But please help me move these. And she just keeps moving more and more boxes out of that space.
Yeah, Lakey keeps helping.
I assume all of you are helping. But would you guys pick somebody from among you to roll a die really quick for me as an efficiency check?
I wanna roll because I finally have my real dice today.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, hold on. Let me move my taffy out of the way. Okay. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't have spoken. This is 6.
It's a 6.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
As you get about
No.
3/4 of the space empty, you start hearing footsteps in the kitchen that are moving fast and clanking around. You can fit about 3 people into the void under the stairs, and Mika starts looking for a keg that she can reasonably carry.
Okay, does Mika hear the people upstairs? Do I know that?
Oh yeah,
Or
you
should I
guys
just,
all
like,
hear it. The only person who doesn't is Hale. Because he's out.
For him.
Okay, should we all try to get in there, or
You can fit 3 people.
3? Okay. Oof.
Um,
Someone's
So-
gotta sacrifice themselves, huh? Maybe.
Briar, grab a bigger head, grab a slightly bigger keg than Mika can carry, pretend you're helping her.
Right.
Go.
Roger, yes. I will carry this one.
Okay. And the rest of you guys
Lakey squishes.
squish
Yep.
in there.
Snuggles!
Snuggles. Yeah.
Snuggles.
Especially with Briar not being in that space, you have a little bit of wiggle room, but you are nestled in there with some nice smelling teas and spices and things, but it is a little bit snug.
And I can help.
Briar and Mika drop the stairs and latch it back. Or, I'm sorry, they don't latch it because they don't want to trap you in there if you need to leave. But you guys grab your casks, and you start walking back upstairs as a knight and 2 guards open the cellar doors.
Hello, gentlemen.
A knight descends, who you don't recognize from the speech. It's not one of the ones that was at the fight. She is holding a scroll of paper in her hands and stops you in place. The guards already have their weapons drawn, and she says, "Excuse me, what are you doing down here?"
I'm helping get wine to the surface. I have a barrel right here. Do you need to inspect it, ma'am?
Hold on just one second. And she starts looking through the scroll in her hand. She flips the page. Flips to the next one.
I was getting tired here.
Okay, I don't see you on the papers. Go head up.
Thank you so much.
Lakey and Boss, from the bottom of the stairs, you start seeing the guards shifting boxes around and looking, behind things as much as they can. They're not being particularly gentle. They're definitely looking for something that might be hidden. And
So,
they rolled a
you're
6. They do not find you and head back upstairs.
Thank God.
Are you going to
Lakey
compensate
waits
Robbie
until this.
You first, Mal. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that Lakey waits until he doesn't hear any more footsteps on the stairs to quietly let out the breath he's been holding.
You can still hear them kind of kicking around upstairs. But it seems like you are in the clear for the moment. 10 minutes passes. Do you and Boss want to have any discussion before?
Do you think that they're looking for us, but they didn't know how many of us to look out for? Or do you think there's another suspect in here that we should worry about?
This happened 45 minutes ago, maybe an hour.
Well, yeah, but it's also... I was going to say video game, but like he wouldn't know that. It's possible. It's like they could just send an instant message to all their guards being like, "Bing, look for Bob and George."
I mean, they do
Fred,
have
I don't know.
magic. They do have magic.
They do. As
Magic drawings of the perpetrators, yeah.
But
I
to
don't know if they
have.
would have magical instant messaging, if that's a
Well,
thing.
we heard the whole guide. We heard the whole exchange on the stairs, right?
Yeah,
True,
absolutely. It was right
yeah.
above you.
Okay. It took her a while to try to find Briar's name. So, you mean to tell me that they got through, like, they listed everyone in the crowd that quickly? That they found witnesses to say who all of those people were that quickly? 3
Lakey,
pages worth of names?
give me a roll really
It
quick,
sounds like
Lakey.
they're... 15.
They weren't a list of names. They were wanted posters.
Oh shit!
I should not have watched One Piece last night with my child because I know for a fact that I'm reacting to this in exactly the wrong way. Or maybe the right way. I don't know.
Bad boys, bad boys.
It's time for disguises.
You said list, which threw me off.
No, I said scroll.
Oh, I don't see your name on the list, I think was what I heard. Or post,
I think
or
I
whatever.
said I don't see you here or something to that effect, but yeah.
No worries. Okay. Then
Say
forget
your
any of the
memory
things
was
I
a
just
little
said.
froggy.
I can't not.
I'm uncomfortable with stressful situations.
I mean, I'm sorry for putting you in one, but I'm glad you're here with me.
Aww. Boss is gonna kick his little feet. Oh.
Well, I mean, we didn't. No one had made any plans other than we wanted to try to save Hale, and we can't save Hale if he's off with the shadows.
Yeah.
So
I guess you could say, hell yeah.
well, he can't. He's unconscious, and I dropped him.
He sure can't. But that brings
But
another question. When is he gonna wake up? And if he does, will he make a lot of noise? Like if he were to wake up right now?
I feel like it's going to be like when we were talking to him and his memory glitched was the word you guys used, glitched out. But I think someone had posited the theory that there's a control something that It's like the end of the leash, and if he gets too far from the end of the leash, he passes out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes I
So
just get scared when things are looking for us and you gotta hide. I was just making sure we're good.
Yeah.
Gucci, even.
I'm actually going to pause our scene here just for a little bit and pivot over to Morrigan and Mahalia.
yeah,
Yeah, cool.
Morrigan, you find yourself flying
Turn
above the
around.
city with Mahalia. The wind is whipping, but it is going in the correct direction to get there. However, it is a long flight from eastern Lusari all the way to Hargrove.
That
Do you want to... and you were intending to go directly to the Hargrove Borough, as I recall. Do you want to fly the full
Correct.
way, or do you want to get there via an alternative form of transportation like a train or a coach?
Well, I mean, I guess how physically exhausting is it to try to fly the whole way
It's more...
there?
Flying wouldn't be terrible, but you're looking at it from a different angle than you've been doing it. You're up above buildings at this point. So you're seeing an aerial viewpoint of something that you've normally been walking through from the train. So it would be more of a navigation issue, potentially. It's doable for you. It will be difficult for Mahalia, who is quite a bit older than you.
Okay. Yeah, I think Doug had the intention of just flying directly there because it feels like not having to stop at other places would be faster, but notices Mahalia starting to veer in the wrong directions at some point.
She is absolutely directionally challenged. Maps are
So,
anathema to her.
So,
She has no idea what they are.
right. So, Doug's gonna pull enough of the invisibility cloak off, or blanket, or whatever it was, to kind of have her head pop out and be like, "Okay, do we need to get down to the ground? I don't want you to leave."
Leave? What do you mean leave? Where would I go?
The exact wrong direction, like you always do.
I always go the right direction. It's just the more interesting way to go.
No, you're wrong. You're just wrong. We're flying down.
Okay, well, I'll follow your lead then.
Okay, and then
Rude.
At that point, we'll transition into the... I might be rude, but I'm right, and that's more important.
Okay, and do you take the train or a coach?
I don't think I have money for a coach, so we probably take the train.
Would you...
I don't know, did I get paid for the festival stuff?
I was actually going to mention, Mahalia has your payment that she picked up this morning before your performance.
Okay, yes, let's go for the coach. We need to get there as quickly as possible.
Okay, well, here's your gold, and she hands you 300 gold.
What?
This is your portion.
Holy shit.
We did every performance.
We did what? My god, this is awesome. I can't get distracted. We gotta go.
Okay, well, driver, onwards to Hargrove. And Mahalia tips in one of her coins and pays for the cab herself out of her portion, which is also 300 gold. Because you did all of your performances. You didn't skip a single one, and you didn't have to. Every performance was worth 50 gold.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
So there you go. You have cash, and you make your way to Hargrove, which is it's a long ride, but it's definitely easier on Mahalia to do all of that flying. Can you give me a roll really quickly?
Oh, of course.
Here's all over the place.
That is a 16.
Okay. Very easily. I mean, obviously the cab driver knows where he's going. You start to notice that there are guards crawling everywhere, and there seem to be more of them the closer you get to Hargrove.
Ugh. Fuck me.
You
My
see
God.
them absolutely pouring out of the train station. And you can make out some squares of paper that are being posted on the train station bulletin boards.
Dare I ask?
Freeze it!
Do you want to stop and grab one or take a look, or do you want to just keep going?
We're gonna stop and grab them, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and do so. Give me a roll really quick.
Hey! Drive a carriage away. Okay, never mind. I thought you meant I gotta make him stop.
No. You direct him to pause the thing. What'd you get?
I got one! Did I lose my sight?
No. But as you are approaching them, you attract the attention of a guard who says, "Oh, are you interested in the wanted posters? Do you know anything about the events of today?"
I know the events of my day. I don't know. What are you talking about?
There was an event at the King's Speech. That was...
Well, sure, he was giving a speech. Right?
I'm sorry?
Maybe he did backflips or something?
No, but maybe the Shadows did. The Shadows attacked the King today, along with a number of unmasked individuals, which we suspect might have been Shadows, so we have posted some wanted posters to try and locate those individuals.
Oh, isn't that terrible? You know, I better just take a good look at these, and I'll be on my way keeping an eye out.
You see one for Hale. You see one for Lakey that is fairly specific. And you see one for Fox, but it's got the lower half of his face covered, because the King got a very good look at him during the skirmish. But you don't see one for you don't see one for Mahalia, Boss, or Briar, and you don't see one for DeLacy.
Okay. Sheesh. Alright.
Do I look cool?
Yes, you look cool. They actually probably made you a little more menacing than you actually are.
That's
Oh,
racial
we don't even
profile.
recognize it's Fox then, because...
We'll take that.
No, I'm just kidding.
And it does say
okay.
that all of them are wanted alive
Okay, that's...
for a cash
Better.
reward that is not currently listed.
So all we have to do is kill ourselves, and then we're fine.
They won't want you anymore.
No, that's counterproductive.
We'll be dead bodies. It'll be great.
I think I'm gonna use my favorite spell, I guess, because I keep using it. I am going to bamboozle this person into thinking it is cool and normal for me to take these posters with me.
Okay.
Like, as if, like, that's good for the search.
Yeah, he absolutely...
So I'm spending an AP point
absolutely
for that.
hands it over. And is like, yeah, sure, we'll get more. It's fine. Take them.
Perfect, thank you, and goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a good day. Just goes about his business.
Runs off back to the coach.
You get back in the coach, and I presumably tell the driver to resume.
We need to go as fast as possible. Yeah.
Step on it. Wait, no, they wouldn't say that because they don't have cars. They have horses.
Get the horses to step on it, meaning the road, very quickly.
Don't spare the horses, is the historical term you're looking for.
But anyway, the effect is the step on it, but you shout something else. And you come very quickly to the Quick Step Burrow, which is not terribly far from the train station. Like, he walks it on a regular basis. You see that the area is absolutely crawling with guards.
Oh, God. Yeah, Doug is fully freaking out on the inside, but is trying to keep a cool gonna go up to the front door as long as there aren't a bunch of guards in the way, I guess. Just gonna try to seem casually walking to the door.
So there is one guard posted outside of the Quick Step burrow at the mouth of the driveway, which is kind of a cul-de-sac. All of the houses are along a cul-de-sac. There are about 3 in the cul-de-sac itself, and there is one currently looking through the burrow. Actually, I'm sorry, there is a knight looking through the burrow. And it appears that this is not the only burrow. You will also notice on your wanted posters that they don't know any of the names, except for Hale.
Okay,
They do have Hale's name on there. They don't list a surname, they just say Hale. So they know what Lakey looks like. They don't know his name.
I'm following. I will do the free version of Whisper to telepathically say to Mahalia, I think I'm gonna go invisible to try to sneak past these guys and, like, I don't know, get through a window or something into the place to try to figure out if he's there or not. And then I can put the cloak on him and leave with him.
Okay. I suppose I'll go in through the front door.
Sure, yeah, if they let you, that'd be great. Yeah, or keep the coach or whatever. Doug does the plan that he just laid out.
Okay. Well, as you head inside of the Quick Step home, do you go through like a window or a door or?
I'm trying to, I think a window, and if there is one that is a little less guarded, that's the one I'm going for. If it's all pretty equal, I'm waiting until someone is, like, looking away from the house for a second.
I'll say most of the guards are land-specific creatures. You see a dog person, a cat person here and there. You think you saw a centaur down the block a ways. The knights are all very humanoid, and you don't see a lot of people that can fly. A lot of the knight armors are not necessarily built for people with wings. So they are not really guarding windows. So I will say that you don't even have to roll for that.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You make it inside of the house, and you can hear talking from downstairs. You can hear Lakey's mom talking, presumably to a knight, as other guards go through her house. They're not being particularly gentle, kicking around. And then you hear a couple of voices, one that you don't recognize, and one that you might. Can you give me a roll really quick?
Yeah. 19!
You hear from downstairs the voice of Lisa Miles saying, "Well, officer, I don't think there's anything here that you need to look after. I'm sure everything's fine. These are perfectly nice people."
Well, shit, that's the person Briar hooked up with, right?
Doug thinks to himself. Do I sense that Lakey's grandmother is around? Do I hear her voice at all?
You don't. But she is, if you poke your head around a door frame, you might be able to see into the room.
Okay, cool. I will do that to look in, just because I think that's the person I will startle the least if I start talking in their head.
You look over, and she has not moved since this morning. She's still on the couch in the living room.
Okay, cute.
She's watching everything.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm spending another AP to do the version of the Whisper spell, wherein she will be able to respond. And I'm going to say in her head, where's Lakey? What's the plan with that? This is Morgan, by the way, we met.
Yes, darling, I recognize your voice. You asked me my name.
Yeah.
Which Doug would remember, but I don't as a player. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. When you were at the performance and you were introduced for the first time, she said, "Oh, you can just call me." I think it was Grandmama, and you were like, "Oh, what's your actual name?" And she was like, "Well, people don't usually pronounce it right. It's fine. You don't have to." And then you were very specific about asking what her name was and pronouncing it correctly, which is Nagatama, by the way. And she says, Lakey hurried on to the Crock and Bowl.
I guess the gods are probably everywhere there too. It's kind of all over Hoggrove from what I can see.
Yes, they don't know who they're looking for yet. They know what he looks
They got
like,
his
but
face very clearly, yeah.
Yeah, they showed us the poster as well. Of course, we're lying to them, but I don't know how long that will last. I know the hares won't give him up, but...
Well, I imagine you guys have a pretty tight group here, so that's gonna help for a little bit.
Yes.
God, I gotta find him. I hope no one's got him yet. I mean, he's smart. He's resourceful. He's probably fine. But I'm gonna go take care of that.
Okay. Would you consider taking my daughter-in-law's niece with you? She is here as well, with her friend.
Daughter-in-law's niece.
Lakey's mother
Sure.
has a niece who is here.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm under an invisibility cloak. How do I signal where I am without other people noticing? Okay. Well, I'm right in the doorway, and I'm describing the doorway I'm in. So if you can get an excuse for her to come over here.
I think I can handle it. And you see her stand up and walk over and put a hand on the shoulder of the youngish rabbit woman, who's kind of buff, to be honest, and
Nice.
say, "Now, Amma dear, could you and your friend possibly go out back for me and just give us these nice guards some space to work? I'm sure they just want to make sure everything is up to snuff here, as it were." Amma looks at her and is just like, "What?" And she gives her a little nod, and Amma's like, "Okay." And taps Lisa and kind of gestures that they were gonna leave. Kind of gives the knight a look like, "I'm gonna fucking remember you." And goes out the back door into the yard so that they are now available to you.
Right. How big is this cloak or blanket or whatever?
It covers you. It will only cover one person.
Okay. Well, none of us are, like, actual suspects, so I guess... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll go to the back to meet them. I'll do the little pop it off, see my head for a moment thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be like,
Okay. Me and my teacher have a coach ready, and we're gonna take off. I was asked to take care of you. Sorry, I'm flustered. Come with me.
Amma holds up a hand and goes, "You are a floating head right now."
okay, flash.
Okay, cool. You know where Lakey is?
I know where he went.
Okay,
I don't know for sure that he's still there.
cool. We'll go. Let's go.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'll take them back to the coach, and,
So I rolled to see if Mahalia had managed to get in the house, and she rolled a natural 1. So she is currently trying to negotiate with the guard, and it's not going well. She can't get in the house. But the coach is still, she's absolutely on the verge of using the move, "Do you know who I am?" But that requires a party, and she does not have one at this current moment to get in the house.
My mic wasn't on, but I cackled. Oh my god.
Shit.
Would you like to wave down Mahalia and try to get her to go with you, or do you want to leave Mahalia here?
Yeah, I'll try to. I'll fully take off the invisibility thing once we're like near approaching the coach, and I'm gonna try to get her attention silently if I can. But if I have to, then I'll just shout her name.
She notices you waving her down and goes, "Well, fine. You know what? I don't want to go in there anyway. I'll just have to tell my friend how rude you were." And returns to the coach with kind of a flourish of her wings, like she's flipping a cloak, but it's her wing.
It's beautiful.
And
I love her so much.
and she returns to the coach, very flustered, as if she's upset, but distracts the guards in doing so the guard doesn't question all of you getting into the coach, because he was so worried about not letting her inside.
Making sure she doesn't call his manager or something, right?
And you guys can now hurry down to the Kraken Bowl.
Cool.
Mahalia pays for it again. Mahalia is kind of excited about the shindigs, but is still a little bit mad. She's bitching on the way there that the guy wouldn't let her in.
What? I told you could just wait in the coach. What are you doing?
Why should I wait in the coach?
Whatever. I'm glad the coach stayed here, regardless of both of us leaving.
Well, I told him to stay.
We gotta go fast.
We didn't know if
Okay,
we'd need him or not. But I can't believe they wouldn't let me in. How rude.
Well,
Everyone's
yeah.
rude today.
Yeah, I know, but ACAB, you gotta you don't know that. It means all knights are bastards.
Well, that was just a guard,
Where's
but
the
yes,
AGAB?
I agree.
Okay, AGAB, that too. Okay, we gotta go. Focus.
The four of you, did you want to talk to Amma or Lisa at all on your way?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna look at them, like between them, and I'm like, okay. So what's your deals?
What deals?
Oh, okay. Lisa, why were you there?
I was with her.
Okay. You know what? I don't know that I care enough about this, really, if y'all are gonna be just so... He said y'all. I care about this if you guys are gonna be all beating around the bush and bullshit. I got real problems to deal with, so you guys can... I'll keep an eye on you because I said I would, but if y'all aren't wanting to talk to me, then I'm not gonna force it. I'm not...
Fine. We'll talk to you. My cousin Lakey just stepped in a world of hurt that he probably didn't plan in advance, is what I'm gathering.
Nodding vigorously, yes.
We're gonna help take care of it. We have a friend who's gonna meet us at the Kraken Bowl. We're all gonna get out of this.
Okay, great. Yeah, with friends. Good.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't know you. I'm a little... I'm told I come off a little prickly, but it's tense, and I'm a little worried about my cousin right now.
I'm worried about your cousin, too.
Okay.
I'm really worried about him.
Yeah, no kidding. She looks at Lisa, and Lisa looks back at her and kind of shrugs, and she goes, "Fine, we're shadows. We were there today. The whole plan was to get Hale behind closed doors where no one knew where we were. And my cousin shows up out of nowhere and drags everything home."
Okay, to be fair, we didn't have a reason to trust you guys yet.
You didn't
So,
have to trust us. You just had to not do anything.
Well, we've been worried about Hale since the... I was gonna say game started. You don't know what that means. Since I got here, since I traveled here, I've been worried about this kid.
We've been
So-
planning to get Hale out for months.
Okay, well, I can't top that. But, like, we didn't know. We weren't in communication. I'm just saying, there's a reason he did what he did.
We'll
and it was
answer-
very brave.
We'll answer questions
was
later.
very brave.
I don't know what I'm allowed to tell you. I am not Shadow's leadership. But for now, we have a wizard who's going to meet us, who's got a portal set up. We're going to get out of this.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, that's great. All right, so I guess we get there.
Yep, you get there just fine. Briar, what are you doing right now? It's been, I'm gonna say 10-15 minutes after you've taken the keg upstairs that wasn't actually needed.
You know, for his cover, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, he wish he had a hood. I'll tell you that much. But I think he'll try to gripe at some of the guard/knights. Like, are you going to compensate for the damage you're doing? Throwing things haphazardly? What if you break something? You're going to compensate him, right? Pointing at the crocodile in the room.
Balthy's just like, no, we don't need any compensation. They're not gonna break anything. They're doing a great job. Just trying not to antagonize them as they actively are trying to toss people's rooms. Oh no. Did Hayes freeze? Oh no.
We were hosts to people who lost their homes last night. Can you be a little bit more careful?
Listen, Briar. I know you're trying to help, buddy, but just let him do it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all donated. We'll get more donations. It'll be fine.
Yeah, donations. Yeah, right. Grumble.
Morrigan, you, Lisa, Mahalia, and Alma all enter the Crock and Bowl, and you see that they're talking
Girl
to
squad.
people. You see that they are talking to people in the room. Checking in on things, making sure, like, pulling back hoods, making sure anybody who's sleeping isn't one of the people on their posters. They absolutely are getting 0 tips for any of the people there.
Sweet.
No, if anybody saw Hale, they're saying nothing. But you do notice there is a heavier guard presence here than there was at the Quickstep household.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess Briar and Balthy are kind of together, right? They were just talking to each other.
Yeah, I would assume they're
Yeah.
somewhere near the bar-ish, just mental image-wise.
Yeah.
Briar's looking particularly
I'm gonna-
grumpy.
Yeah. Okay, I got a 15, so it's not super obvious how freaked out Doug feels necessarily. He's doing a decent job holding it together. Does make a beeline, though, for the bar to meet up with Briar and Balthy. So, how's it going?
Well, apparently it's Knight's Day.
Yeah.
Lisa gives you a cheeky grin and says, "Fancy seeing you here."
Yeah, fancy.
So questy things, right? We were supposed to be doing separate questy things, and I think they might be the same questy thing now.
Yeah, imagine the payoff, right?
Well, we already had the payoff, so to speak, but yes.
Huh?
I'm teasing you, honey.
Right. Sorry.
Would you leave him alone? Come
No,
on.
no, it's too much fun to watch it. Look at him blush. He turns this beautiful color of like auburn around his cheeks because he's already orange. It's great.
How about we have a book club meeting upstairs, right? Oh.
Give me a roll
That's a
really
new
quick.
fate. 17.
So nobody is currently in your room, but they are tossing other rooms down the hall.
Oh, never mind. Not that I had a lot to write.
I
but
mean, if there's a good place for a book club, I'm very interested.
He glances up at Balthy and reaches up to scratch his nose, pointing particularly downward with his index finger, as if asking for permission to go into the cellar.
Dorothy shrugs and says, yeah, if you want to take that keg back downstairs, I don't think we need it yet. You might as well. I mean, you and Mika both brought one up, and the guards here don't seem to be that thirsty, so...
Yeah, would hate to waste good wine on people who aren't thirsty.
You see Amma, who had been kind of waiting by the door. She got stopped by one of the guards and kind of gave him shit for stopping her. Like, oh, because all rabbits look the same? Really? You see that she had been kind of hanging back, and she is now accompanied by a bobcat wearing these nice white robes.
Oh, nice. And Briar's going to look to Mahalia. Not Mahalia, sorry. Morgan.
Okay.
Oh no, roast.
I know we look so much alike.
It started with an M. Sorry.
You're
Look
totally
over
fine.
at them. Look back at Orada. Book club members.
Mm-hmm.
Eh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I assume you lead the way downstairs?
Yes,
Okay.
I will. I will guide everybody to the cellar.
Lakey and Boss, you hear a number of footsteps coming back downstairs. And then you start to see them all puddle at the floor level, and then the stairs start to lift back up.
Hi, guys. So, some peeps?
Mal I can't hear you.
Is your mic off?
No, the mic's on. The headphones died.
Oh, no.
How about now?
Yes, can hear you
Yes.
now.
Okay.
Your video's frozen though. We can hear
As long as
you
the
though.
audio's working.
Is your phone battery getting
How
low?
about now? Nope, we're great on phone battery.
Okay. No, we still
We're
can't
gonna
see any
we're gonna-
movement, but we can hear you.
How about
Here
now?
we are.
Perfect.
We got
I
it!
exist. My bad, I put the cart before the horse. Anyway, Lakey says, the next time you're gonna bust open a hiding place, can you just, I don't know, maybe say, hey, it's us before you lift the stairs?
Halfway through saying that, Moradug is already trying to pull like to his feet if he isn't there already, and proceeds to give him the biggest hug she can manage.
Aww.
Lakey winces because he's pretty sure he's about to get hit, and then softens into the hug and hugs her back.
Oh.
Fucking idiot!
I'm not the one who didn't finish the plan. You all said that we wanted to save Hale. There was no discussion about what that looked like. So here, now we can save Hale. You're welcome.
Look, I don't disagree with
Okay.
you. I was worried about you. That's all.
That's fair. I apologize for making you worry.
Well, good.
How's Okay, so I'm not sure what to say here. This is Lisa, the only other face I recognize here.
Oh, Alma and I never caught the Bobcat's name. Hello.
I'm Mina. It's nice to meet you. Oh, I'm sorry. It didn't pick up because I used a high-pitched voice. I'm Mina. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, hello,
Okay, Mina. I mean, I assume she's cool.
I like to think so.
So,
Do we have the luxury of assuming? Did I miss a memo?
I don't know. Should we look for it?
Okay. Oh. Okay, so
And
Oh,
Amma just
buddy.
goes, no, sweetie, no. How about that portal? And she goes, okay. And casts portal in the room, and you see that it leads to another space.
okay, let's get going.
Where?
Somewhere where there aren't any guards.
The question I should have asked is, with who, not where. Thank you, Amma.
Lakey, honey.
So
With who?
With all of the love in my heart and soul for you, as my beloved cousin. We need to move. We need to move quickly. We can answer questions later.
I have good reason to suspect. I can't get into the details. I have good reason to suspect these guys are good, and we'll probably see a lot of the rest of our friends where they're taking us.
I don't mean to be that guy, but they also refer to His Majesty as the Good King.
Oh,
So, like, he scoops Hale up and, like, just kind of gives everybody a side eye and goes through the portal. Really unhappy that nobody's telling him anything.
Yeah, obviously following. Do we go where I suspect we were going?
You
Or not?
find yourselves in a small room that is very much the inside of a warehouse.
At 2 a.m.?
No, it's probably more like 1 or 2 in the afternoon at this point. And I think we're going to pause there for a restroom break because it's just after 9 p.m. So we'll take 10-15 minutes and we'll come back. And we'll pivot over to Fox and DeLacy when we come back.
Nice.
yay.
Gucci.
And we're back. On another adventure in the Shadows headquarters. Fox and DeLacy, you have been moved to a small, windowless room at the back of the warehouse base that you found yourself in. The door is locked from the outside after you are shown in, and are left to wait until such a time as the shadows are ready to address you and the complexities that you present. The room that you are in appears to be a bonus room of some kind. There's a couch along the back wall with a pillow and a blanket that indicates that somebody may have slept there recently. In the center of the room is a rectangular table with 6 chairs placed around it. Crystals glow in sconces on the wall, providing heatless light in the small room. As time passes, you are left to talk amongst yourselves. However, there is a guard, still cloaked in Shadow's garb, placed inside the door with you, listening to everything you're saying. After a time, the guard quietly reports to someone outside of the room that Saphira appears to be in shock of some kind, and she is gently escorted out of the room to be seen by a doctor. This is how we are quietly excusing Saphira from the room, because, unfortunately, Saphira is not here this week. DeLacy and Fox, what would you like to do as you find yourself in this captivity?
Can I do an investigation check on that guard to see if he had a key on him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We weren't, like, tied up or nothing, right? Like,
No, you were not tied up at all.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Less kinky. That's okay.
I guess. If they're gonna be this unoriginal, I guess. Like,
12?
You don't see one. Doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't have one, or she doesn't have one. They don't have one necessarily. But you don't see one very easily if they do.
Okay. Well. Not gonna take that chance then. Not yet.
yeah.
Not till I know. Well, bud. Seems we're really in it now.
Sure do, don't it?
At least we're not in the palace prison. That's the one silver lining I can give this, I think.
I suppose. Well, this is stereotypical as hell. I'm really disappointed.
I'm not used to the couch and the chair. I think that's nice.
Yeah, that's new. Furnishings.
What luxury prisons have you been in?
Gentlemen of Tells.
They got Parcheesi? They got any Catan in here?
I'd love to know where they're hiding it. At least a deck of cards, something. Seriously, there's nothing in here. He's gonna get bored, and you don't want that.
You don't want that. You don't want to have to clean up after that.
If you want this to go easy, you need something.
You hear the guards snicker a little bit.
Aw, I think they like us.
Yeah, keep it going, keep it going.
You know any sea shanties we could annoy them with?
I grew up landlocked. Hell no. Did you?
No.
Shoot, I didn't see the sea till I left home.
Yeah, because this is a coastal... Is this a coastal town that we're at right now?
Yeah.
Okay. But have you ever been to the beach?
Once.
Twice. You went yesterday.
Yeah, I get that.
I got, like, snapped by a crab. That was it. I was done.
I love the
How about
beach.
you?
Love the beach.
How about you?
Love it.
Matter of fact. Have you been often? I forget. How long have you been on the surface?
How long have I been? What?
How long have you been on the surface?
Oh, I mean, for years now.
All right.
Yeah.
Patting around, I was like, I don't even got my damn flask on me for this. God damn it.
Oh yeah, I have like so many knives on me. I guess I could try to pick the lock, but maybe I should wait for an opportune time. Maybe I should wait for an opportune time.
I mean, or you make
You
your
hear
own
the
opportunity
guard
time. You
clear
can
their
always do that.
throat rather audibly, like, I'm right here.
That's a joke.
Alright.
It's funny.
Alright, so this one knows, so we can't do it on this one, but if you don't tell the next guy,
They gotta switch. I mean,
surely there
they
has
gotta
to be a
switch
schedule.
shifts.
There's gotta be a schedule or something. He's talking way too loud. So there's gotta be a schedule or something.
As time progresses, the guard doesn't leave. The guard just stays there, shifts occasionally, leans up against the door, but is not let out. You guys are stuck in the room with said guard. And then there's a bit of a commotion outside. The door opens. Your guard steps to the side, and the rest of your party walks in.
What?
You
Guys,
made it! Welcome to the party! It sucks!
you're supposed to help. What?
It sucks in here.
What
There
the
ain't nothing.
hell? This room isn't big enough. You guys get your own.
And there's only like one couch. Someone's gonna have to stand.
I'm not standing.
I sure shouldn't be standing. I've been in here too long. I got
Bob
seniority.
goes up to Fox and does that thing that, like,
Hello?
Does
did you
one
guys
thing.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. Oh.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
I just
can hear you.
missed
Can you
the
hear
end of
me?
what you said.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
I got
Okay. So sorry, my connection. But I was gonna say, so everybody's reunited, right?
Yeah, everybody's reunited. Alma,
We have Hale with us, right?
you do have Hale with you. Alma says, hey,
Yeah.
Lakey, I know we're still on a not trusting basis. Can I take Hale to be seen by the doctor?
No.
I can take Hale
Oh,
to go
sorry,
see the
Meg.
doctor.
You're gonna want to talk to the boss about things. So that's
So
a
you
no.
should take Lakey else boss then, I guess. Like,
So the boss would be coming here while Hale is going to the doctor?
I mean, just the other room, yeah.
Is that the... Well, if it's just neat, could the doctor come here?
Sure, hang on a second. Hey, Ziv! And
there's
the doctor in question pokes his head out of the other hallway and goes, what's oh my god, and looks directly at Briar.
so Lakey kind of nudges Fox like this is getting good.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? How many people? What are you?
Lisa looks at you, and then looks at the doctor, and then looks at you, and goes, am I missing something?
No, I think that you are on exactly the same page.
Oh shit.
Yeah, ignore me. I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Our group's got a lot of connections to each other, huh?
So many dots connecting.
So, hello, doctor. This is Hale. He's unconscious. I'm pretty sure it's because of the collar. I only dropped him once, and it wasn't that hard. But that's all that's happened to him.
You dropped him?
Dropped him?
In my defense, I got told to put him anywhere, and he's pretty heavy.
That's what I do. That's fair.
I don't recommend normally dropping an unconscious person. Why is my husband here?
Ask your friends. I thought they'd treat him with a little more, hospitality.
Lisa leans into Briar and goes, I didn't know this was your husband. This is a little awkward. I'm sorry. I just talked the wrong direction for the mic. I don't know if you could hear that.
We could hear that.
Okay.
We heard you.
You did. Ryer is trying desperately to grasp at words.
So,
Can the doctor see Hale now?
The doctor is actively gonna go look at Hale, yes.
okay, good.
You can set him gently on that couch over there. It's like the only thing fucking in here to help yourself, I guess.
But then 2 people will have to stand, DeLacy.
I think they'll manage.
But I'm just saying, if that's who we think it is, we should be a little more hospitable than we being shown.
DeLacy, or, who am I playing? Lakey, kind of, like, leads Ziv by gently moving Hale over to the... Like, he doesn't interrupt the examination that's currently going on the unconscious man in his arms, but just kind of step by step slowly moves the whole situation over to the couch.
Okay.
And actually puts Hale down, but not before that split second where you know that he's considering, what if I just sat down while holding him? That would be so much easier.
So you do put Hale in the room with you then?
Yes.
Okay. Ziv gives him a check over and says he looks mostly fine. I can mend him, but it's nothing that won't mend on its own. He's got a little bit of a bruise, but I he looks okay to me. He's out.
I'm not sure what the removal process might put his body through, so if it's not going to be too taxing, perhaps mending him now while we have the chance and making sure he's at full reserves would be good.
Yeah, I can do that. And you see Ziv kind of runs his hand over the bruise that he had noted, and it very quickly vanishes as he mends it.
So, is it rude if I ask what your guys' fucking plan was with Hale?
More articulate than ours.
That might be a conversation that we need to wait for the boss for.
Well, since we're talking to someone who's, related to our group, the husband of someone, I guess.
Well, he was
I
also...
don't know if he felt like he wanted to talk to Briar. I don't know.
Speaking of which, hi.
He was also the doctor.
I'm Ziv. How do you know my husband?
Best of friends.
Since when?
Truly.
3 days ago?
3 days ago.
3 days ago.
Huh.
3 days ago.
We bonded quick.
Okay, well, good to know.
Nice to meet you, I'm Morrigan.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Morrigan.
I'm Fox. Is this an open relationship?
I mean, I am Ashrani, so I mean that's kind of normal, but we haven't discussed it lately since his memory issues. So we might need to talk about that.
Memory issues?
When Fox did that, Boss kicked him in the shin and was like, "Can't you be normal?"
But who is
No.
Boss kicking? Oh, Fox. Okay, gotcha.
Everyone.
Oh yeah.
Fox is going around systematically kneecapping every person in this room.
I was worried it was Ziv, and I was like, what did Ziv do?
How?
So he's like, "Oh, there, boss. I'm pretty sure that is normal."
You hear somebody clear their voice at the door, and a knock happens. The guard, who had already stepped to the side, allows the human swordsman from earlier, who has now changed into a nice button-down with his sleeves pushed up above his elbows, a belt and tailored pants. He approaches the table and sets down a closed portfolio. Ziv quietly exits the room. Actually, no, real quick. Ziv says, would you like me to take your friend somewhere more comfortable?
I'm more comfortable than this. I don't exist.
I appreciate the offer, and I hope that you appreciate, in turn, that at the moment, unfortunately, I need to consider his value as a bargaining chip.
That's a no.
So he's,
Ziv
you're
gives
gonna
you
be
a
more
look.
comfortable among friends. So.
Ziv gives you a look and then kind of nods and stands back up and exits the room. As Ziv leaves, Amma stays in the room with you. Lisa leaves, and the gentleman at the table waves for the door to be closed.
That's magic trick. Because he waved and the door closed.
So we're alone in a dungeon cell with the boss.
One of them. You know Akemi
Well-
is the other one.
Mhm.
One of the guards, the one that has been in the room with you, is some kind of mammalian being. And then Amma, obviously, is a very bulky rabbit. Philip Prince, the man says, introducing himself, and extends a hand to each of you in turn.
Fox.
Morrigan.
He gives a very specific handshake to DeLacy last and says, Mr. DeLacy, it's been a while.
I take that as a good thing that it's been a while.
It surely is. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances.
I think this is, frankly, some of the best circumstances we could have, because, glances to Hale, I feel like we's on the same side of the matter.
More than you know. DeLacy, it's been about 4 years since the last time you really interacted with Philip. Back when he got you out of a charge that very well might have landed you in jail. But he doesn't really look the same as he used to. The Philip you knew was always a handsome man, warm brown eyes, wavy dark brown hair. Currently it is short on the sides, but long on the top. He's got soft, almost innocent features. Those haven't changed, but he's lost some of the softness in his cheeks, and you can tell that he's put on some muscle over the course of time. He looks more alert than he did back when he was a bar regular at the Harbinger's Rest, but he looks tired. He sits in the center chair nearest the door and says, Akemi will be along shortly. I understand you are already acquainted with her. Please, I imagine you have questions. And he gestures to the surrounding chairs.
Well, one of us has to stand. Two of us, I mean.
Lakey takes the chair closest to Hale.
I think there's enough bisexuals in this room that somebody could sit on the arm of the couch. Let's just be real.
On the couch.
I prefer my bisexualness to lean
Doug's
him against the wall with folded arms.
More Doug's gonna sit on
Why
the
not?
armrest of a thing, but not
Why
know what
am I-
that means.
Why in my head are Fox and DeLacy in the same exact posture on either side of the couch that has Hale on it?
Alright, everybody, roll the chair.
Roll two chair.
Briar's just gonna sit.
First question. Do you know how to help Hale? Do you know how to get him out of his little collar?
Situation.
Me personally, no, but we do have experts that are being brought in as we speak.
Assuming
And then the plan afterwards?
That's a little more complicated. Can we wait on that question until Akemi gets here?
Is she getting here soon? Because that's really the most important thing.
She is seeing to the death rights of one of our members.
My condolences.
Thank you.
You've been working
Are
out.
you...
Like, you was, like, no offense, but you're a little more bulky since the last time I saw you. Granted, it been a minute, but, like, you wear it well. But you might want to take it a little easy. I don't think you're getting quite enough sleep. But maybe this has something to do with that.
Yes, I have been working out. Yes, I am tired. I don't know where
Another
to go
question.
with that.
Can't all be
I
serious.
think
Can't
he's
all be
hitting on
serious.
you. We'll address that later.
Yeah, can't all be serious.
Another
We
question.
also slept together. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
What is your group's goal? Is it... I hope it's not complete regicide.
I mean,
I mean, why not?
Philip's
is, I'm not
face goes a little bit dark
Mm.
and goes.
Hey, you know, who am I to judge?
We all have our own goals. We all have our own goals. Mostly it is to take the power out of the hands of those that have had it and give it back to the average citizens.
Ooh, I do like the sound of
Back
that.
to. Was
Philip
there
is
not
a
always a
human.
monarchy?
Philip is human.
Lakey rolls his eyes.
I'm Fox. What was your other question?
Has there not always been a monarchy?
There has. The last king was, well, the last dynasty, I guess if you want to call it that, was a little more hands-off, more of a figurehead. This has been a little bit more of a controlling family line for the last, however, 300 plus years.
Okay, but still a monarchy.
Still a monarchy.
Guys,
Interesting.
gonna the princess is on your side, right?
Yeah.
So
Or does she
this
think
isn't
she
just
is?
a coup to get her in charge. What does she understand this? What's the plan with that?
Philip shakes his head and goes, "No, she won't be in charge when this is all done."
Oh, we got us a runaway princess, do we? Dang. Love the sound of that.
Are you ever gonna let us out?
Yes, one way or another. We
Wait,
don't.
what?
One way or another, yes, we will be setting you free. How we
You know why I don't like that answer, right, Philip?
how
Phil, can I call
we
you
do
Phil?
so is up to you, but we do need to wait for Kemi, who wanted to be here for that portion.
Mm.
So then what are you supposed to be telling us?
Just answering some preliminary questions before we get into the big stuff.
You want to find out what our priorities are by seeing what we ask about. I understand what you're doing. I was just skipping ahead to the part where you give us the controlled narrative and then see where we take it. I figured I'd save you some time.
Okay,
It is
where would you
efficient.
like to take it?
No, I think it's your turn next. We've already told you an awful lot about ourselves.
Okay, well then we'll wait for Kemi.
Ooh.
He's not staring you down, but very pleasantly, being
Then please
patient.
allow me to apologize for upsetting your plans a second time.
Ooh.
Doug is fucking eating this up silently.
A couple of minutes pass.
Boss is going like this to Morgan.
Did anybody else have
what?
any questions before I move things?
So this group.
Nope. But I am ready to fight.
Lazy does not feel like this. Lazy does not feel like this is the time to give condolences to Phil on anything. So no.
Okay.
Phil's just mad that I'm better at him. At everything.
After a couple of minutes pass, Akemi enters the room. She's still wearing her Black Shadows garb. She hasn't changed, but she doesn't have the hood and mask on anymore. Her face is still a little puffy from crying, and her strawberry-colored eyes, normally rimmed with red eyeliner, are now very much bare. She's very clearly cried it off or washed it off in some respect. Her gaze flicks to
Teddy,
Fox. Oh, I'm sorry?
I was gonna say, Teddy cannot help but, like, brighten up a little bit when she comes in the room.
Yeah! Her gaze flicks to Fox briefly, and she smiles a little bit as she goes to sit at the table with you on the other side, next to Philip. She is flanked by another person, gold-eyed with mottled black and white curly fur. The other person looks like a moody dog. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of those, but they're very cute, curly-haired dogs. It's got black and white fur and gold eyes, and it's spelled M-U-D-I if you need to Google. She is wearing a red silk vest shirt and tailored pants and holds to her chest her player's journal. Of the people in the room, she's the only one absolutely smiling, and her tail is wagging pleasantly. She cheerfully takes the third chair with the back to the door and sets her journal on the table. Now that
Lakey scans all of his companions who have books to see if any of them show recognition of her. Just a quick glance around.
Well, you do not.
I know the answer, but it's happening.
Yeah, but no. Now that we're all here, I think, hi, I'm Avi. The dog person offers you guys her hand to shake.
Well,
Boss immediately takes it.
Yeah. This
Line.
person is super cheerful, super happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm glad someone's enjoying this, I guess.
Philip speaks up.
I am.
Philip speaks up and says, Avi is here to facilitate things. She's an invoker and can provide truth verification for either party should it be requested. And she says, don't worry, I have potions in case I need to do it lots.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Fair.
So you guys gonna drink them too?
Sounds like it.
They're for me, so I can do truth for everybody, because it takes
Okay.
a lot of magic sometimes, so.
Replenishes the spoons. Yes.
Yeah, the spoons. And Philip says, now, Akemi, would you like to start? She nods and clears her throat. And she mostly looks at Fox when she speaks, given that she knows him a little better, and she looks a little bit puzzled and says, I'm trying to wrap my head around what you were doing on the stage today. Could you explain?
For me, I saw my good friend Leke, and I was like, okay, shit's going down. I gotta back my boy up. So I try to get up the... Well, first of all, Princess getting grabbed. Me no likey. I try to go help. Don't like Alien. I've always wanted to punch him. So that's part of that, too. A good day all around until now.
You see Philip kind of nod and go, yep, that sounds about right.
That's why I got up on stage.
Lakey, you were there for Hale, given that you disappeared?
I'm sorry. I'm struggling with this. From everything I know about the Shadows, you are a group that seeks to put control in the hands of the many, not the hands of the few. But I am sitting in a dark room being questioned without any sort of explanation or any sort of forthright information sharing, and this really just feels like another monarchy. So please excuse my brusque response.
And please excuse our brusque reaction. We are not the most organized, and the complications that you present for us, if you were to turn on us, would be immense. We're trying to decide as best we can how to best keep everybody alive and well.
Well, the very short and simple answer is that the simplest answer, in fact, is that we're all apparently in the shadows now.
That is an option, and we were going to present that option to you. There is one complication, however. Philip, can you... And Philip opens his portfolio, and he's got copies of the wanted posters that he spreads out on the table. He also slides a slip of paper
Is that with me?
over to DeLacy that is very clearly written in Gwendolyn's handwriting. That reads... hang on, let me find it in my notes, because I wrote it down. No, apparently I didn't write it down. It reads, "Please have Mr. DeLacy and his apprentice see Gwendolyn at the Harbinger's Rest as soon as possible."
Ooh, I think we in trouble.
Mm. Hmm.
Are you going to see the principal now?
I think she thinks I am.
Additionally, through our sources, we are aware that the Thieves Guild, of which Mr. DeLacy and I believe Fox is also acquainted with, have a very large reward out for information on us, which to an opportunist would be very much worth a great deal of money. However, if you would be willing to join the Shadows, we would be willing to pay you for your silence until matters with the Regency are taken care of. We will pay you.
You are absolutely correct. You are in need of some organizational help because you are just telling secrets, and that's stunning.
You wanted me to answer your questions.
I see why
Why
you'd
does-
get the impression that we would maybe turn you in, but that's not going to happen because our priority right now is hey.
Last time you saw me, yeah, I would have immediately, but today ain't that day.
Mr. DeLacy, I don't mean to be rude, but we have it on good authority from someone in your guild that you are not necessarily to be trusted, that you haven't in the past done things for money rather than for the good of the community. And we are concerned that if we do not make it financially helpful to you to not turn us in, that we will lose out.
He is being such a teenager in the principal's office right now. He is all faith. It's like, man, people that love to live in the past, don't they? I see the reasoning. Continue.
I'll take the money.
We are.
And I would put this to our group. It might be illuminating for them on both your motives and why we all have done what we have done, if you are willing to share what you shared with us. But that, if you are willing to give it, I would be happy to support you. That is not only my decision, that is all of us, because that is all of our knowledge.
I'll support you too.
It is ultimately your decision, but it is also our consent, because we are implicated. So I consent.
Sure, I'm in.
Yep.
But I'm confused. Where are we consenting to? I spaced out there.
DeLacy sharing with Akemi and our other new friends here what DeLacy shared with us that caused us to make the decision that put today's
events
happenings
Okay.
in motion.
Consent.
The best interest in the boy, I'll talk.
Okay.
They claim to help him. They claim to want to. And they claim to have the means, so.
Oh, a lot of folks do that.
But I think it will clear their view of your mercenary proclivities? Yes. Exactly.
I just want to point out I did never claim to be a good man, but Yes, that is a good point. Is this the part where I start talking? I don't know if Boss said anything or not.
Yeah.
We are gonna be. I want unanimity on this.
I don't think.
I think we all
Were you
consented.
calling on me?
Yeah, I couldn't remember if Boss over table. I couldn't tell. I couldn't remember if Boss said they were okay with this too. So I was giving the chance for him to object or not.
Oh, so sorry. I thought we all did as a group. But thank you for clarifying. Yeah, boss is Gucci.
Well, we know that, but
One of these days, you will have to introduce me to this Gucci fellow you keep speaking of.
seriously,
What you mean?
is that another
Yeah.
demigod we don't know about?
Kind of.
Oh yeah, you guys will love him.
Yes, up there with Versace. And the twins, Dolce and Gabbana demigods. Crazy.
The
Okay.
Kingdom of Banana Republic.
DeLacy, we're getting a little late on time. What
Okay.
would you like to say?
Kind of gives a glance around at the team, and he's like, it's a kind of glance of like, I'm gonna need y'all to back me up on this because I'm kind of gonna spill everything.
Wait, DeLacy. If it,
Mhm.
we'll be all right. We'll just beat him up if we.
I will
That's
just
over
point
the
out.
table.
I will just point out that I think that's an inside thought, and it should stay an inside thought next time.
You can, yeah.
Okay. Well, it is my belief, and my deductive reasoning has led me to the conclusion that our friend Hale is in fact a child of the goddess of hospitality, Ariel, given some appendages the boy be growing on his head, and one that he do keep tucked into a pant leg regularly. And plus the removal of all the Ariel statues in town. Let's just say it rustled my fur because that's essentially making it so a mama can't check in on her kid, and I don't agree with that. And I want to know why the king was so keen on keeping such a short leash on a demigod, and why he ain't allowed to even remember his mama.
Philip and Akemi share a look and say, we did know that he was the child of Ariel. We were pretty certain. We think his collar works on the base. What?
Can I get an insight check on that look?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good call.
Can I too? Actually. Don't look me in my face and tell me you already knew what I just told you.
I rolled a nat 20.
Yeah,
Helps confirm.
Nice.
I rolled a 14. That's so much better.
I got a 17.
Okay, so we got a nat 20, a 17, and a 14. Lakey, I would say that you can tell that they feel like they have something heavier to add to what DeLacy says. DeLacy, you clock that, as well as it being something they are hesitant to tell you because it's such a big implication. More so than just, this is dread, this is really gonna be a problem if this gets out. Morrigan, you know that they know something that is insane that they are trying to keep from getting out to the public, because if it does, it's gonna cause chaos.
Now, I believe I have participated in my share of the mutually assured destruction.
Yes,
and I would appreciate if y'all did the same.
Thank you, Mr. DeLacy. I do appreciate it, and that does clear up a few things. It's more complicated than just Hale. Hale, we do know, is a child of Ariel. That much we were certain. We recruited Princess Celine fairly early on in the process of this being more than just me running around the city causing issues.
Okay.
she was a priority, Hale was a priority after the fact. It had always been a plan to get them out. But in the process of trying to discover who Hale was, we discovered something a bit more complicated, and we think we know the reason that things are more complicated.
I do love complicated locks. Please do share.
Well, when we realized that Iriel had been banned from the city, when the order came down, we realized that it was a bad thing. A lot of the followers of Iriel who are particularly outraged are in the shadows now. If they had, I'm sorry, did you say something? Okay, I heard a sound. I don't know what it was. I lost my train of thought. Come on, brain, you got this.
Followers of Uriel
So
joining the shadows.
yes. So Hale is a child of Iriel. Celine was able to figure it out based on context clues and the water thing. However, Hale is part of a lineage of gods. So to announce his presence here to Iriel, as easy as that would be, Iriel is known for her rage when things are done that damage things. And her rage is usually focalized on the problem. However, her mothers would absolutely decimate the city. Iriel being one of the children of the gods of plants and animals and fresh water, if they found out what was done to Hale here, I don't think Starlight City would be left standing after all was said and done. However, when we started trying to figure out if there was a way to communicate that we were trying to free them, we came to the realization that in the last 5 years there has not been a sighting of any god in the city of Starlight.
That's fact.
Which, on its own, would not be particularly unusual, except for the ones that are normally from here and are regular here. Or Hesketh, the god of travel, would normally run through here, or Martavo collecting souls. There have been no sightings of gods within the city. And we think that the Starlit Spire is the cause of that.
That the spire is admitting a cloaking spell of some kind?
Yes, we believe so. Give me, for those of you that went to the Spire, I don't think Lakey was there, give me a roll really quick.
I go there. I don't remember.
Unless you have
I
a
got a
thought before you
17.
roll.
I have a thought. Didn't Hale, because he was staring at that thing, and and he had some poem about. What, did he have a poem about seeing people in it or faces, or am I making that up?
No, I don't think so. But you did
Okay.
see him
Never
writing
mind.
poetry. He was playing guard there for a little bit.
Well, I rolled a 1. Not to beat around the bush.
1, 2.
I got a 17.
17? Okay.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, buddy.
But I don't remember. I don't remember if I was there.
You were.
I think you were.
That's when Lakey's
I thought that
sister
you-
Yeah,
came to
no.
get
You
him.
you were very specifically there because you asked me if you could pickpocket people in the crowd, and I told you that if you did, you would have to roll for
Right.
each individual one, and you didn't do
Right.
it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
the only
right,
person who
right.
wasn't there was me.
So that is a natural 20.
Lakey, you think back to the Spire, and you've lived here for a long time, and you think back to a time when they were building the Spire, and you remember that after about a year after building the Spire, they started adding more to it. And more recently, when you went to the Spire was covered in runes.
Okay.
That was Lakey's, or did you mean DeLacy?
That was DeLacy.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Those motherfuckers. And he says it with venom, but also a smile creeping onto his face. Oh, those motherfuckers.
What? Tell me. Someone tell me.
He'd actually glance over at Licky. He goes, I don't suppose you remember when that smile was going up, do you?
Yes, but it didn't seem that terribly different than any other spire construction, just bigger.
I remember at one point I looked over at that shit and it was just covered in ruins, which is not something I'm proficient with, but I'm certain they were there.
Given that the only thing that we've seen runes used for recently is to imprison godlings, I'm not terribly surprised.
Well, Hail on his own is not particularly powerful. Most demigods are not. They usually get a trait here or there from their godly parents, but without a mantle, they're basically just people with one extra skill more so than anybody else.
I mean, unless they come from the ocean. Sorry about you catching the heat for that too.
I mean,
Yeah.
it happens. Wait, how did you know about? You freed
Don't worry
the
about it.
mermaid.
You honestly think this is the first bad decision I've made in the past 3 days?
Well, no, but I'm just
Guilty.
surprised
Yes.
you would kill. I'm just surprised you would kill 16 people.
Now
We
about
didn't
that,
kill anyone.
that's not
We left-
that didn't happen.
We left everyone alive.
This was a rescue, not a murder.
And you can cast as many invocations as you'd like to about that.
I don't think I need to. It came out of the king's mouth. Philip goes, he lies about things all the time. I'm sure he had them killed himself. And closes the folio.
Inside job. Fuck, I knew it.
A rude ass motherfucker.
Philip says the king was likely trying to get another demigod in his collection. More
Collection.
than likely, Hale being the first of what I presume was hopefully to be many.
Why?
He's a sick fuck.
Is he attempting to ascend?
No. Philip rubs his shoulder and says, my brother used to be an invoker for the king. And we know that he was getting, or I know that he was getting very close to giving a prophecy. And for those of you who are NPCs, when you are a legendary invoker, prophecy is something that invokers can do, but they can only ever use it once. So they have to choose who they give it to, very specifically.
At the mention of his brother, DeLacy actually sobers up a little bit and the smile just drops.
It is our assumption that he chose to give the king his prophecy, and the king did not like the prophecy and had him killed.
I'm so sorry I couldn't get through that fucking barrier.
Does anyone know what the prophecy was?
No.
Is it just the two of them?
Celine's been looking for it for years, but we haven't managed to get to it. We have a couple of other people inside the royal court, but they're all too heavily entrenched in the information they were trying to gather, and not enough of them had the anonymity that we needed to get to it. We know that the king has it somewhere, but we haven't been able to find it. But it is our assumption that something in that prophecy led him to seek out Hale. We know that he specifically went looking for a child of Uriel.
DeLacy just gives a glance to Fox. That kind of thing what I'm thinking.
No.
Head empty, no thoughts. Good. They won't be
If
able to
you're
read it.
thinking disguises as fancy aristocrats to go into the castle, then yes.
Okay, different methods, but same track. Good, good.
So in the time that you have been here, these, and she gestures to the wanted posters, have been posted in every train station in the city by the city guard. In addition, the Thieves Guild is now looking for Mr. DeLacy. We would love to invite you to join the Shadows, if you would be willing. We are happy to pay you for your silence, if that is what it takes. I am willing... Philip has quite a bit of money from his family, is willing to pay double what the Thieves Guild is offering monthly to secure that silence.
I believe this brings me back to my original question. What do you do?
We are planning on removing the royal family from power by any means necessary, and any family who supports them.
And that's it.
What happens in that vacuum
No
left behind?
infrastructure afterwards, no.
We would like to follow a system of democracy, similar to the Osvins, which we realize may have some pushback given the recent war.
Well, if you're attempting to remove a monarchy and an established power structure by cutting off the heads of that power structure, then you need to simultaneously uplift everyone. Otherwise, you will just have new heads.
Yes, we understand that.
So, if we join your club, are there certain rules we gotta follow? We gotta go to the meetings?
You may choose to be as active in our guild, whatever we are, as much as you would like, provided you do not provide any information to parties who would wish us dead.
Do you want the thief or do you want the assassin out of me?
She blinks and goes, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were an assassin. And she looks at the guard in the room with you. That's still closed.
Yeah, I think they actually need the teacher out of you.
You sure about that?
Lakey tries his absolute best to not look at Fox right now. But he can't help but have, there's a little smirk right here.
And that was a question for Phil / Academy was like, you sure about that?
They have said repeatedly that they need organization.
I would think that means they need you more than me.
I'm good at making sure that structure is followed, but I don't necessarily understand how to establish a structure. You, however, have been participating in one of the most established systems that has been working under the nose of literally everyone in the city. So if anyone understands how to avoid both the systems and your former guild, it would be you.
Oh, that's fair. Honestly, that's probably why Wynn wanted to see us right away in case we was enticed into the shadows and then could tell them everything. Also, hey,
you see Akemi just staring at you like, yeah, that is what we're worried about.
And he also was like, oh, by the way, I saw that with my face. What was that about? Gesture to the other cloak person. Like, by the way, I saw that with my face. What was that about?
You see Akemi glance back to the guard, and the guard goes, God damn it, and takes his mask off. And it's Sam from the Thieves Guild, who had previously stopped you from running into Galleon that first day in the Harbinger's Rest.
You son of a bitch!
It's the Fox guy who got mad at Fox for being named Fox.
Yeah,
Oh my
my
God.
He
God.
just laughs.
No way.
Like,
Get
this
me up,
full
Sim.
laugh, like,
Come here.
in his butt.
I grab his
Well.
hand and make him dab me up.
Doug is wondering which one of them slept with the fox because it seems like everyone's doing that. When their greeting is someone they slept with.
Lakey's actually going to turn to Morrigan and be like, I don't want you to feel like you have to stay here. I know you have plans to keep traveling, but you could probably do some pretty interesting things here. I don't know how they'll compare to your life of travel, but
I mean, I don't know. I gotta find some way to talk to Mahalia about an excuse to stay, but but no, I don't think I want to go. I think I'll stick around.
We do have an alternative if you would not like to join us, but it is not particularly something we'd like to do. Our doctor has
Kill me?
No, we don't kill.
Oh.
Well, we might kill a few nobles in this process.
Kill some people. No, don't pretend. You killed some people.
A cab.
Who has it?
Janan!
But no, if you would like to leave, our doctor knows the ability to help people forget, and we would be willing to erase your memories up to the start of today.
No, I don't. No offense, I don't trust that at all. That sounds really scary.
It's
so
radical, but it keeps.
I'll keep my mind.
Okay.
I see how it helps you. I'm saying if you wanted to make me forget extra shit, I wouldn't even know that I forgot it. You know, you hear what I'm saying? Like, that's not. I don't want any of that.
Okay. Well,
Besides, I'm staying. I already said it.
Boss,
I'm on board.
Brian.
I'm getting paid.
Fox. What do you? All right, Fox is in. Fox, Briar.
Oh, I'm not partial to getting my mind messed with by my husband.
Yeah, you already have enough memory loss, right?
Yeah,
Sounds like it.
yeah, I'm damaged enough.
Oh, Sugar, don't talk about yourself that way.
Well, boss, what do you think?
No touchy. I'm good with all of my memories.
All right, maybe we can have like a middle ground. We're not like official members, but we could at least go into areas you can't. I don't have a wanted poster yet, do I?
No.
Oh, shoot.
And
what?
Morgan pulls out the wanted posters that she grabbed earlier.
so you do see Philip pull another one out that has Saphira's face on it as well.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Give that one a minute. Give that one a minute.
Oh,
I didn't see that one.
I was waiting for it. She used her name
She used
as
her
a
name.
diversion.
She also, her brother
the-
saw her and saw her run into the portal. There's no world in which she wouldn't have been identified.
Is there no wanted poster for the
However,
princess?
No, actually, they don't have one for the princess.
Of course not.
Interesting. They're like, I don't want her back.
However, I will say that
She can
Saphira's
fuck her.
poster says missing, not wanted.
That almost feels worse somehow. Why does that feel worse?
Because
Damn it!
she's
If anyone
not
sees us with
important.
her,
You know, it's because she's not important enough for them to try to paint her as being the head of the Shadows, and they still have a use for the Shadows' notoriety. They're not ready to pull that option yet.
Nasty. Don't like it.
Sorry,
Boss is
I'm.
gonna take Saphira's poster and just look at it.
My day job, I am an analyst. I cannot turn it off. I apologize.
Oh, you shouldn't have to. It's pretty awesome, actually.
Well, Lakey gets a little kind of smile and like,
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I want to clock that. I want to clock that shit.
So I suppose, welcome to the shadows?
I mean, we should talk to Saphira about it, but I guess we're officially joining the Shadows after unofficially being inducted by His Majesty himself.
I'm gonna do a little magic trick to make myself look as if I'm just shadows. And then I'm gonna offer my hand.
Do me. Do me.
Okay, it's free. I don't use AP, so sure, why not?
Fox, you're trying to get enough people to do that. Don't ask her to.
Magical.
Literally.
Yeah, fuck it. I like shit.
So you guys are inducted into the shadows. Welcome in. Let me introduce you to the team. And she opens the doors back to this giant warehouse where you see a large group of people milling around, not in any sort of costume. There's probably like 20 people here, and one of them is Celine, who is currently getting a haircut from the rather short person who very much looks figuratively like Morrigan, except without the wings, and has very sharp teeth. And you see that she is giving Morrigan a pixie cut. Not Morrigan.
What?
I'm sorry.
Me?
She's giving Celine a pixie cut. It's a pixie.
I'm totally scanning this room for any
It's a
faces I know.
pixie, and the pixie has a journal. And that is where we're going to have to leave it, because August has to go to bed, and it is late.
It is late.
Well, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. We will see this group in 2 weeks for more of this, and then next week we have Monster Hunters.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye!
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mwah.